Well, welcome back. I'm Luke. This is Tyler and Seth. And in this little mini series, what we're doing is talking about how all these different areas of life connect with the reality that Jesus is Lord over everything. And so both of these guys have doctorates. That means they've done a lot of school, but only one of them enjoyed it, and that was Seth. And so, Seth, we think you should talk about school. How does school connect with the supremacy of Jesus?
Well, I grew up, my dad's an educator, so I grew up with a dad who worked in the school system. And one of the things he'd always say is the main value of school is to learn to do what you don't want to do really well, because a lot of life is doing stuff you don't really like to do and learning to excel at that and do at it as good as you can. The second thing he'd say is never let school get in the way of education. So he understood that education was supreme and school was meant to serve education. And I think part of what we see in the book of Colossians is similar. Paul says, don't be taken captive by human traditions or human wisdom. And we need to understand that part of being a Christian is understanding what the human traditions are and understanding what just man-made wisdom is compared to the wisdom of God. And so rather than looking at school as just something that you do, we should look at school as an opportunity to become the type of person that can function well in a society where people disagree with us, where people are hostile to us, and that we can understand the flow of human thought and the way it shapes people's desires, hearts, and affections. And so looking at school as an opportunity to both learn submissiveness, to learn to be a follower, but at the same time learn to resist the status quo way of thinking and to develop ourselves into thinking, feeling people who can interact with skill and with talent and to leverage our gifts and skills in a way that's going to maximize love of neighbor and at the same time not be taken captive by love of money or other things like that. And so we should look at school as a tool, not necessarily as an end in and of itself.
Sounds great.